So today, coming down towards Ludshott, different route to the usual route I take. Today we're coming via Furze Hill Road, is it? What I'm doing is I'm trying to get down to Pond Road, right down at the bottom of the hill, and that leads onto Ludshott Common and eventually it meets up with Ludshott Common Road. So I'm going to try and walk the extent of Ludshott Common Road, taking a few photos as we go. Pretty muddy down through here at the moment, obviously. I've had loads of rain. And you do get some cyclists coming down this way as well. I think they've built some jumps and things in the woods in the past. But nearly down to the bottom, down to Pond Road already, which is brilliant. And then we'll take, actually this doesn't look like Pond Road. I might need to take a right turn here to get us down to Pond Road, down at the bottom there. So, that's the way we're going. It's managing to start to rain again a little bit here, but we're going to see what we can do. We've got some dramatic skies again, maybe. See what we can do with some pictures today, some photographs today. Got Fuji's with me again today. Was fairly kind of enthused by the way the camera performed last time we came out over Ludshott. It was good, and I'm not specifically looking for any wildlife type stuff today, so left the Olympus with its long lens at home, and we'll see how we get on with the X-Pro1 and the X-T20. So today I am following the Garmin. Yes, I remembered the Garmin. I've remembered, I have to say, this doesn't particularly look like a path I've followed before. I think I've gone up to the right before now, but Garmin says I've got 1.6 kilometres in this sort of direction until I reach the next waypoint that I've marked, which was the junction of Pond Road and Ludshott Common Road, I think. So, to be honest, it doesn't feel quite right. I feel as though I should be going more that way. Yeah, that way, rather than that way. I wonder if I should go up that way and around, because that feels right. This looks like the cleared, up on the hill there, up over that rise, looks like the cleared area, and I should be going off to the right of that. So let's go along this path and see what we can find. Ooh, tape on the tree. Hope that's not crime scene tape. Kind of doubt it along this way, but good thing about that shot is there are just so many paths that you can follow and get lost on, without really getting, hideously lost. Yeah, I can see some cyclists up ahead, so we might have some action footage of cyclists, you never know. I think it's just some lads mucking about, doing a few bits of stuff, jumps, bit of downhill. Yeah, in fact I think they're going, looks like through the woods, they're going down the hill that I usually walk up, which is all sort of like roots and ruts and stuff, and I thought about bringing the bike over and giving that a try out myself. Sounds like they're having a whale of a time. Lots of shouting and streaking. Hope none of that. Shouting and shrieking, that's what I meant. You definitely don't want to be streaking on a bicycle. The thought of gravel rash. Ugh, too much. Yeah, that's where I usually come up. So we'll go around the top here, and then we're on the right track for following Pond Road, right the way around to Ludshott Common Road. And for anyone who's been brave enough to watch any of my other videos, of which there are only a couple I think so far, they will, if I turn the camera around, recognise this area of Ludshott, which has recently been cleared. I say recently, I'm not sure actually how long ago that was. But it's definitely, yeah, a large cleared area. And this is Pond Road going down the side of it. So definitely back on the right track, I think now. Just following the trail. This is clearly where the logging vehicles would have been along here. It's amazing just how much, looks a bit kind of devastated really, this section. Oh, there's people walking their dogs. Looks a bit devastated along this section, to be honest, at the moment, but I think if I get along to the end of this section and kind of do a right turn, I'll be back on the, heading back towards the right way. I have to watch where I'm walking here, this is really tricky terrain. I've taken a couple of pictures so far. Oh, there's a deer crossing the path up ahead and going into the woods. Taken a couple of pictures so far, using both X-Pro1 and X-T20. To be honest, I spend a lot of the time just leaving the same lenses on them all the time. So the X-Pro1 has the 18mm and the X-T20 has the 27mm on at the moment. I've brought a couple of other lenses as well. I've brought my long zoom, the cheap one, the 50-230, and I've brought the kit zoom, the 15-45 as well, just in case. Oh, and I brought the Samyang 12mm manual focus lens. This tree in front of me has obviously been down for a while by the looks of things, because there's a bit of a path being trodden around it, both up through the grassy side and through the not so grassy side. So I'm going to go not so grassy side, see how I get on, and try not to fall on my face or anything else. Yeah, that's all good. I wonder when that one came down. It's got a lot of green leaves on it actually, so it probably came down fairly recently, I think. We've had some really high winds the last few days. A Christmas tree blew over in the garden on more than one occasion. It's potted, I have to say, but I hate seeing it laying on its side, so I have to keep going out and standing it up. But of course, the more often you stand it up, the more often it gets blown over, the more likely it is to get damaged, break branches off it and all that sort of stuff. But I just don't like seeing it lying down. I'm sure trees are not meant to be, well, in my book, they're not meant to be lying down unless you're logging, which I'm not with the Christmas tree. It's a good chance I'm going to get soaking at some point again today. Maybe to take cover. I'm prepared for that. Always prepared for a soaking at the moment. And that's the main reason I'm doing more walking than cycling really at the moment. It's just because I don't really enjoy getting a soaking when I'm on a bicycle. But when I'm walking, for some reason it doesn't seem as bad. You can always stop and take shelter under a tree or whatever. And now they've actually got some leaves on, which is good news. Okay, I'm going to consult the Garmin again here. Yeah, this sort of direction. The thing is, the waypoint I put in is a fair way distance, so there may be a bit of kind of crisscrossing of tracks to get to where... should I go that way? Rather than straight over the top? No, I'll go up this way. I think I'm more likely to be able to find my way along this route. Let's see. I think the Garmin might be trying to stitch me up a bit here. I stopped and took some pictures there of a bridleway crossroads sign, and to be honest, it's a bit difficult to tell which way the Garmin thinks we should go. It was either straight across or left at the crossroads. I've gone left, which I think I'm going to get the Garmin back out for another look now. Yeah, actually, does suggest that this is the right way. It's counting down 684 metres, 680 metres to the next waypoint, so probably can't see that, but it is counting down to, and the compass says this is the right sort of direction, so let's hope the Garmin isn't trying to stitch me up. This isn't a path I've been along before. I suppose it might be one that I used to cycle. I used to have a sort of a route around Ludshott that I used to cycle. And some of this is very reminiscent of one of the paths I used to follow, which was along the line of the electricity cables. So this is very reminiscent of that path. I used to do it in the other direction, not this way. But well, I'm going to take Garmin's word for it. Carry on this way. We'll see where we end up in a minute. Already I'm beginning to wonder why I brought so much kit out in terms of lenses with me, because still haven't taken either the 27 off of the X-T20 or the 18 off of the X-Pro1. It's just that what if feeling you always have when you're packing your bag to go out. What if I want this one? What if I want that one? And it just always transpires that you end up, or I always end up, taking more than I'm ever going to use. But if I don't take it, I just know that I'll get to somewhere and think, oh, wish I'd brought that. I think it's always the problem with, collecting too much kit. Is it too much? Or is it, just the right amount and a nice position to be in? Probably doesn't really do, the wind probably doesn't really do any favours to your creativity. I think I'm back on the route now. I've just met up with the Ludshott Common Road superhighway, I suppose you call it. Ludshott Common Road anyway. And just as I came out onto the pathway, these trees here, namely this one here and the next one along, there were some tiny birds flying around and creeping up the trunks. Swapped lenses, took a couple of pictures, not sure what they'll be like, we'll have to wait and see. Possibly not great. These little tiny birds move so fast and not that easy to capture with all of the foliage and stuff now on the trees, so we'll see what we've got and see if we can identify them later. You can probably hear the robin singing in the tree up above me. Come on, Robin. Yeah, there he goes. And I think he's just rubbing my nose in the fact that I can't hold a camera steady to take a picture of him. It looked like I had some reasonable exposure on him and things like that. but I could see through the viewfinder on the X-T20 that with the zoom extended to 230, I was wobbling all over the place, couldn't hold it steady at all. You probably can't see him up there. He's about he's there somewhere on the tree there. He's on a branch there. I could probably go in closer actually. But he's just sitting there minding his own business, singing away. There he goes. He's gone. So I'll put one of those pictures I'll put the best one in the video, and we'll see what it looks like. Meanwhile, I've come to another fork in the road, and the the Garmin says, I think to go this way, but it says I'm only 83 metres now from the waypoint. So let's kind of see how we get on. Yeah, it's counting down quite quickly. 79, 78, 77, 76. This should be the way. I'll consult my map and see where we go from here. I've consulted the map, and yeah, was down there by the sign, came out that path on the right over here, came along here. You could go straight across all right, so we're now going this way and heading sort of northeast, I guess. And according to the Garmin, we are 855 metres from the main road, which is the main road between Headley Down and Greyshott. Yep, definitely been some logging here. Wow. There might be an image or two here, we'll see. Beautiful green over that side. So back on the main path now along the top of the common, heading back towards home, just under 2.5 kilometres from the house apparently. So yeah, to make my way back, stopped to take a picture of there's a few bits and pieces of strange structures in the woods here, things like some tank traps, which I took 1 or 2 pictures of back there. Nothing too exciting. This path is good and muddy at this end, and further on it will be pretty sandy, I think. Got my hood up now. Is that bad? Feels proper weird having a hood up actually, but I don't want my hat to get soaked through, otherwise my head's going to get wet as well. Surprising how much this also kind of keeps the wind off the back of your neck. So if you're feeling chilly, which I'm not particularly at the moment, and won't be if I get a crack on to get home in a reasonable time, but if you're feeling chilly, good move as well. The weather may not have been entirely with me today. At least I did get to find out the extents of Ludshott Common Road and the Pond Road. Followed those to the conclusions, I think, successfully using the Garmin. So that was definitely the intention for today, and I think that has been successful. So it's got to be good.